50. For the Channel 1 Newsroom on Channel 1 television, we begin with the Central Region, and authorities are anticipating a possible restructuring of the maternal healthcare system in Awutu-Senya East following the death of a pregnant woman at the Mother and Child Hospital in Kaswa. The death of a 27-year-old Abigail Opoku, which is believed to have resulted from inadequate care, has sparked public outrage, with many residents sharing troubling experiences at the public health services or facilities across the municipality. Central Regional Correspondent Akwesiado reports.
Several residents, particularly women, have begun speaking out about alleged poor treatment at maternal health facilities in the area following the death of Abigail Opoku, who was reportedly denied a cesarean section at the Mother and Child Hospital. One such individual, Martha, not her real name, recounted how she nearly lost her life after her baby died in her womb when she was allegedly turned away from the Kaswa Polyclinic.
Instead, said midwife never share no catch me say me ko. No say me time upon 2 weeks. And no shout me coffee ade aye to me hwehwela ye di mutam be na du so. Na me bora baby omoje awo no ward ho no. Na me catch midwife ba ko say, "Baba, last week me buy 2 weeks upon wo mo say me nko. And aso ma ba 1 week. Aye 3 weeks no. Midwife ne say me san ko. It's a milk scan and mirror scan. No much of Sakwa no woo. You know, Miss Samson, midwife for last week in me buy or pound me. Was the said that day no? Now me buy na me make a midwife on this. I want shaman 1 pound me na go share me. Maybe I can mean ya.
Authorities have expressed concern over the situation at the Mother and Child Hospital and other public health facilities within the municipality.
These stories are becoming one too many with the mother and child. Something must change, and this is the time.
The incident, along with a wave of public complaints, has prompted the Central Regional Health Directorate to set up an investigative committee to probe the circumstances surrounding the death.
And so I have absolute confidence that the team that has been set up will definitely get to the bottom of this issue.
Residents of the deceased have welcomed the decision, expressing hope that it will bring clarity and accountability.
So mbeye de omakano nko ade a kayeni beje pa mo omakano ombe mo meni ada ho so na next time obi so kwa ombetena mo hwahwe na nipa kono so onko.
Municipal Chief Executive for Awutu-Senya East, Seth Sabase Wonobanini, has indicated that any officer found culpable will face the full rigors of the law.
We will follow this matter to make sure that whoever that had to do something that ought to do and did not do, or overdid, or did not do at all, these persons must be brought to book.
Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for Awutu-Senya East, Felix Nakoyo Okuno, during a visit to commiserate with the family, expressed expectation that the outcome of the investigations will lead to reforms in the maternal health care system.
Things are happening that we are not aware of, and it's good that things are coming to bear. People are bold enough to bring issues to bear. This aids us and helps us in the investigations that we are having. So all I'll say, the entire community should just keep calm. I know people are scared, especially pregnant women are scared to go to hospitals now, but they should keep calm. Investigations are ongoing, and then the right actions will be taken at the right time.
For the Channel 1 Newsroom, I am Akwesiado, Kaswa, Central Region.
Now, the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, has criticized the government's decision to recruit 7,000 teachers, despite what it says is a backlog of more than 100,000 qualified graduates from colleges of education and other tertiary institutions. The association's leadership describes the move as unfortunate, pointing to an earlier assurance by the Minister of Finance to expand public sector employment, including the recruitment of more teachers. Channel 1 News' Middle Belt Bureau Chief Hafiz Tijani has been looking at this story.
NAT has raised concerns about persistent challenges in Ghana's education sector, urging the government to take urgent steps to address issues such as limited teacher recruitment, inadequate funding, and delays in pension payments.
In view of the threat of unemployment to the national security, the National Council of the Ghana National Association of Teachers demands an astronomical increase in the number to be recruited and also calls on government to ensure that those who completed their training earlier get the opportunity before those who completed later.
In a communique, the association also expressed concerns over what it described as insufficient budgetary allocation to basic education. It is calling for increased investment and the establishment of a dedicated fund for the sector.
In as much as we are concentrating on the senior high schools, which we applaud government for, we think that it is time to shift its attention to the basic schools. At least that is the foundation, and we need to lay a good foundation for the future or for the senior high schools. And that is why we are calling on government that it is obvious that quality public education is not possible without adequate funding. Hence, Council urgently calls on government to increase the allocation to the basic level and the institutions of a dedicated fund.
As part of its demands, NAT is also advocating for an extension of maternity leave for female teachers.
You will agree with me that by 3 months, the child will not be matured enough to hand him or her to even a nanny. And that is the reason why we are requesting that if the rule be that teachers are not to present their kids, children at work, then let's extend the 3 to 4 months at least, so that they will have enough time to nurture the newly born baby before coming back to attend to the case in school.
Now, vulnerable households in Ghana in pursuit of child protection cases spend between 1,050 cedis and 2,540 cedis annually. This is contained in a report by Child Rights International, which has found that families in Ghana face significant financial burdens when pursuing child abuse cases. Channel 1 News' Rachel Ingman reports.
Presenting the findings of the report titled Perfidy of Justice Against Children, Evidence from Child Abuse Cases in Ghana, the Executive Director of Child Rights International, Bright Appiah, explained that vulnerable households spend substantial amounts to pursue justice. The study, which reviewed 899 cases across 10 regions, found defilement to be the most common offense, representing nearly 60% of reported cases. It further revealed that hundreds of cases remain pending in court, with some lasting between 2 and 10 years without resolution. The report notes that the delays are worsening psychological trauma for victims, disrupting education, and placing significant financial strain on families, some of whom spend up to 2,540 cedis in pursuit of justice.
We estimated that 1,050 to 2,540 will be the cost that the family need to spend to be able to get justice. And we feel that this will put a lot of burden on the families, and the impact on the children is so huge and their families. One is the secondary victimization issues, where there's a prolonged judicial processes that causes psychological distress, trauma, and anxiety for child victims.
Child Rights International is calling for strict timelines for investigations and prosecutions, the establishment of specialized child protection courts, and a national digital tracking system to fast-track cases and improve accountability.
In our assessment, we realized that there must be a mandatory investigation and adjudication timelines for dealing with most of these cases that relates to children. Again, we are also saying that the Judicial Service should be able to have a specialized child protection court and prosecution unit. There will be a need for us to develop the national digital tracking system for cases
Child Rights International warns delays in child abuse cases are denying victims justice and is demanding fast-track courts and strict timelines. Reporting for Channel 1 News, I am Richard Langman.
Now, the Ghana Education Service says all supervisors and invigilators who were implicated in examination malpractice in the 2025 Basic Education Certificate Examination BECE are banned from participating and coordinating this year's exams. The GES says the ban also extends to those under investigations. Channel 1 News' Melody Fafa-Potife has more.
The GES at a press briefing on Thursday gave updates on preparations towards the 2026 BEC scheduled for May 4 to May 11, 2026. A total of 620,141 candidates made up of 304,349 boys and 315,792 girls from 20,395 schools are expected to sit for the examinations across the country. This number shows an increase in last year's figure by 16,813, representing 2.7% increase. Addressing the media, Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Professor Ernest Kofi Davis, indicated that investigation is almost over to determine the fate of invigilators who aided in exam malpractice in the 2025 BEC.
I wish to remind all supervisors and regional directors of education that all teachers and supervisors who were linked to examination malpractice last year and are being processed for sanctions are banned from the examination centers. We have different committees that have sat on these cases. The results of the student who cheated in the examination will never reflect the student's true academic capability.
Professor Ernest Kofi Davis further stated that candidates will choose their schools after the examination as earlier announced.
However, the process will start immediately after the examinations. Immediately after the BEC, the process starts. The student picks 7 schools. This year, we've given them the chance to pick 8 schools. 8 schools in the sense that now they are going to consider 2 Category A schools, 1 boarding and 1 day within their vicinity.
Now, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Kofi-Boa, has announced the formation of a committee to review a petition submitted by Adamus Resources seeking the reinstatement of its mining lease. This follows the company's opposition to the revocation of the mining lease. Meanwhile, Adamus Resources Limited retains financial control over all mining leases. The operations will be supervised by a joint committee of Adamus Resources Limited and the government for a period of 2 weeks. There's more in the following report by Channel 1 News' Jude Duncan.
Speaking to the press, the minister explained that the decision to constitute an interim management committee is to ensure continuity of operations at the mine and safeguard investments made. A separate committee has also been constituted to review Adamus Resources Limited's petition for the reversal of its mining license.
I've also just received from them a petition requesting for administrative review and reversal of the decision that has been made to revoke the leases. I haven't considered that on a sober reflection. There are 2 things that I've done. Number 1, I'm setting up a ministerial committee to review thoroughly the petition, and that will be done. That committee will be in place starting work on Monday. After that, they will give me a comprehensive report and recommendation.
Earlier this week, the ministry revoked the license of Adamus Resources Limited over concerns about its alleged involvement in illegal mining, failure to obtain regulatory approvals, and unlawful subcontracting of its operations. founder and chief executive officer of Nguvu Mining Limited, which also operates the Adamus mine, Angela List, expressed appreciation to the government for the grace period granted to review the matter. She also used the occasion to refute claims that the company is involved in any form of illegal mining.
I would like to thank His Excellency, the President of the Republic, and the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources and the Member of Parliament for Elembele, who happens to be our Member of Parliament as well, for graciously giving us the opportunity to be heard. We consider ourselves one of the responsible large-scale mining companies. We have presented here ample evidence of all the actions that we have taken over the years, trying to combat the menace of illegal mining. As the mining leaseholder, we have no reason to engage in illegal mining and will never condone in that.
Now, the majority in Parliament says the Bank of Ghana has so far incurred losses of 16.7 billion Ghana cedis in efforts to transform Ghana's economy. The caucus says government interventions over the period have led to lower inflation, reduced monetary policy and lending rates, as well as greater stability of the cedi. Channel 1 News' Ni Aikwe Okain reports from Parliament.
The majority caucus in Parliament on Thursday addressed journalists on the 2025 financial statements of the Bank of Ghana. Now, the caucus stated that a 16.7 billion Ghana loss incurred by the central bank is evident in the lower inflation rate, lower monetary policy rate, lower lending rate, and the rise in international reserves to 14.5 billion Ghana cedis.
The stabilization of the cedi that we saw, which lost its value of 19% in 2024, for the first time in many years, gained its trend of 41% in 2025, and named the strongest currency of any emerging market in the world in 2025. The international reserve grew from 9.1 billion as at the end of 2024 to 13.8 billion as at the end of 2025, and now stood at 14.5 billion as at February 2026, the highest reserve Ghana has ever recorded in history. Policy rate has also seen a cut from 27% at the end of 2024 to 14% as at March 2026. The average lending rates have followed it down from 30.2% to 17.7%. That means cheaper loans for small business owners trying to expand, and farmer buying inputs, and trader who borrows to stock his shop, and the young couple buying for their first time.
The majority also disclosed that the Bank of Ghana's gold purchasing program accrued to the state $11 billion for the year 2025 at an operational cost of 9 billion Ghana cedis.
In 2025, we moved the purchases from 54.7 tons to 111 tons. So it generated cumulatively 11 billion United States dollars, and we only spent 9 billion Ghana cedis achieving that. If you are holding $100 and the dollar is 17 Ghana cedis, that time the Bank of Ghana cedi equivalent will be what? 1,700. In this year, if you are still holding the same $100 and the cedi is now 10 cedis, you see that the money will now be 1,000 Ghana cedis. So the $100 value hasn't changed. But because of the strong performance of the cedi, it is making the cedi value that we record in Ghana's books to be what? Lower. That represents a cost. So the cost that the Bank of Ghana will mention include this cost, and that cost doesn't translate into any economic cost, but accounting cost.
While the majority caucus says interventions rolled out by the government have seen investor and consumer confidence bouncing back. Reporting for Channel 1 News from Parliament, I am Ni Aikwe Okain.
And here in our studios at number 5, Ola Hansen Lena Tessano in Accra, I am Umaru Sandamadu. You're watching Channel 1 Newsroom on Channel 1 Television. Still ahead. BBC pleads for time as banks move to auction assets over non-payment of debts. More on that when we return. Please stay with us.
The best part of going home is family.
Sit up! Hey, mommy, my wife is cooking something delicious.
Lizzie Shito, hot pepper sauce, spicy. Bona yete, Lizzie, oh Lizzie. Lizzie Shito,
Lizzie Shito, the Shito is Shito. Lizzie Shito, overfill.
Lizzie Shito. Please, can I take some to school tomorrow?
Yes, my son, you can. Lizzie Shito dear. Ebesu obiasu.
Lizzie Shito hot pepper sauce. Yes, spicy.
Lizzie Shito hot pepper sauce. Spicy.
For bulk purchase, kindly contact 050-168-3344 or 050-155-0998. This advert is FDA approved.
As the sun rises over the city of Accra, its warm glow settles on one of the city's most thoughtfully planned communities, Lakeside Estate. And once again, something exceptional is unfolding. After the successful sale of our 4-bedroom Orca at Lakeside Hills, a new masterpiece is about to make its debut. An exquisite 4-bedroom story Orca home overlooking a breathtaking landscape of the Abri Mountains. This remarkable home now features a total floor area of 330 square meters, set on a generous 7,140 square foot plot.
You're welcome back. Up next is Channel 1 Business with Nashika Caesar.
CNR Business is brought to you by EcoBank.
Hello, my name is Pamela from Customer Service. Please revalidate your account by texting your Ghana card number to 0500,000 247.
Hey, Abili, wabadim.
Madam, give me the numbers behind your ATM card. I'm calling from the head office.
An email was delivered across to our customers this morning.
Confirm if this is your bank account. 100,100,100.
Thanks for sending your bank card details.
Send the OTP now to avoid cancellation.
EcoBank will never call, email, send an SMS asking for your PIN, OTP, bank card, or Ghana card details.
Don't get played. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Hello, please, I'm calling from Customer Experience Center.
Well, it's time for business, and Nashika is here. Please take it over.
Coming up in business, the Channel 1 television market price barometer continues with its 4th index focusing on construction and small business inputs, tracking the cost of key materials across selected markets in Accra. Average market prices in this index point to prevailing cost conditions facing developers and small-scale builders. Here's more in the latest data shows. That data was compiled by Channel 1 TV Research Desk under the Channel 1 TV Market Price Barometer, tracking the pulse of prices in Accra. Now joining me is my colleague, Nee Lati for more on these. Nee, many thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Shika.
Now tell us, what is the data telling us about the construction sector?
Well, this is our fourth index, which happens to do with the construction and small business input basket. And this is what we have, this is what we have in the index. So we have local cement, the 32.5 grade, the 42.5 grade, iron rods, rough sand, smooth sand, paint, plywood, standard sheet, as well as nails. So the data we gather suggests that prices are aligned across the market. What this means is that prices are relatively stable across the market. So when you go to market A to get commodity X, you are more likely to get it at the same price in market B. So for local cement 32.5 grade, which is used for normal plastering, bricklaying, and residential construction, the average price hovering around 105 Ghana cedis. For local cement 42.5 grade, used for a lot more of construction work, talk of the construction of slabs and beams, that one 116 Ghana cedis. Iron rods per ton 7,250 Ghana cedis. Rough sand double axle 2,800 cedis average price. Smooth sand double axle 3,500. Paint bucket 4.5 liters 84 Ghana cedis 50 pesos. Plywood standard sheet 1 by 8 inches 103 Ghana cedis 75 pesos. And then also nails 32 Ghana cedis 50 pesos. And so what we are saying is that with this particular index, we are not seeing volatilities or price movement. What we are saying is that there is some form of consistency in the price level, which means that when you go to different markets, you are more likely to see all of these at the same prices. And what this does is that it is just establishing the cost baseline for construction and for small business inputs.
Right. Now, do these price indexes have any impact on stakeholders such as builders and small businesses?
Very well. So like I mentioned, because of the cost entry and establishment of the baseline, you would say that, well, prices or the construction and small business index has some form of, front load element, which means that you are more likely to incur a lot more of cost at the beginning of your construction. So for example, if you are a small contractor or somebody building something very small, and you are buying incrementally, it means that time becomes of essence to you, and also that determines how fast your project progresses. So in this particular basket or index, we can say that a lot of factors come to play. For example, you can talk of level of income. If you have a lot more of income, you can buy in bulk because prices are the same. And because it also has little room for price differentials or variations, it also means that if you are going to buy and you are a small contractor or a large contractor, your cash flow will also come to play in here, because if you have a lot of money flowing, you are able to buy a lot more of these to aid your construction. If you are buying incrementally, it will also determine the pace of your construction.
Right. So what does this market price barometer tell us about the Ghanaian economy?
Well, so this is actually our fourth index. On Monday, we began with the household staple and also the normal one. So what we saw was that cost pressures were more tailored to the main food items, such as cassava, maize, plantain, and what have you. When you look at the protein and fresh produce basket, you realize that the cost pressures were also tailored towards the perishables. Then yesterday we spoke about the energy and transport index, where we said that there was this cost transmission into the wider economy. So whatever happens to energy, it has a cascading effect on, transportation. Right. And today here we are talking about the construction and small business input index, which is also helping us really appreciate the cost baseline of construction. So if you put all of these together, you will say that now we have a ground level benchmark, having tracked all the prices of some of the selected items in our barometer. What we are looking forward is that we move away from the observation, and then we'll be looking more at the trends, or observing the trends, for us to have a proper analytical insight in some of these items that we have in our barometer, Shika.
Very well. Thank you so much, Ni.
You're welcome, Nashika.
Right. Now let's move to some other stories. And Ghana recorded an annual average inflation rate of 14.6% in 2025, a decline from 22.9% in 2024. According to the maiden annual inflation report released by the Ghana Statistical Service, the drop signals ease in price pressures, although households continue to grapple with a relatively high cost of living. There's more in the following report.
Government statistician Dr. Alhassan Idrisu said the trend reflects meaningful progress in stabilizing the economy, but cautioned that the prices of goods and services remain elevated. He spoke at the launch of the report.
The annual average was 14.6%, down from 22.9% in 2024. This is real progress. But here is the part we must not ignore. Lower inflation does not mean lower prices. Prices are still high. They are just rising more slowly. So while conditions improved, many households are still adjusting to cost of living. Ghana's inflation performance in 2025 actually shows real progress, but also unfinished work.
Speaking at the same event, Deputy Finance Minister Thomas Nyako Ampim underscored the significance of the report, adding that it presents key areas within the economy for targeted interventions.
It provides a basis for targeted interventions, whether in agriculture, supply chains, energy pricing, and fiscal policy. In short, this report bridges data and decision-making. In today's global economy, countries that succeed will not be those with the most data, but those that use data most effectively.
Moving on, the Managing Director of PBC Limited, Seydou Yoni, is appealing to a consortium of banks to grant the company more time to secure internal approvals from shareholders, including the Ministry of Finance, to complete key corporate governance processes needed to unlock assets-based arrangements for debt repayment. There's more in the following report.
The appeal comes after court officials backed by security personnel returned to the Jowlu head office of PBC Limited on Thursday, April 30, to enforce notices over debt owed to a banking consortium. This is not the first visit. Similar action was taken in January 2024 following a court ruling in October 2023. Although the company secured a stay of execution, the banks later obtained a fresh order in March 2026 to continue enforcement. Speaking to Channel One Business, the managing director urged calm, expressing hope that ongoing talks could still prevent a full auction of the company's assets.
We cannot say we are going concern as a business without clearing our image in the financial market. It takes us, a business, to do whatever we will do to pay off that liability. And we are working assiduously. That was the reason why I said they should give us the time to go through the corporate governance structures so that whatever we do, we are doing within the means of law, so that we don't try solving a problem and dragging another matter into it.
Let's now bring you an update on crude oil prices and how the currency is performing on the interbank market. That's it for Channel One Business. I am Nashika Caesar. Sandra. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Na. To some other stories now, and the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union of Ghana, ICU, Ghana has called on the government to ensure that its economic policies translate into improved living conditions for workers, while acknowledging efforts to stabilize the economy, particularly in the macroeconomic space. The union said many workers continue to struggle with the high cost of living, including housing, utilities, transport, and food. In a May Day statement issued on Thursday, April 30, General Secretary Morgan Ayawine urged the government to adopt diversified strategies to create sustainable jobs, stressing that macroeconomic stability alone is not enough to guarantee improved livelihoods. Now, President John Dramani Mahama says the recent fire at the Akosombo hydroelectric plant presents an opportunity to modernize the facility's control room. He made the remarks during an inspection of the facility, which has been in operation for more than 6 decades. There's more in the following report.
The fire, which occurred on Thursday, April 23, affected a substation operated by the Ghana Grid Company, resulting in the loss of about 1,000 megawatts of power. The incident triggered power fluctuations across the country, raising fresh concerns about stability in the energy sector. Touring the facility to assess the extent of damage, President Mahama described the incident as unfortunate but said it creates room for upgrades, including the installation of modern equipment to improve operations at the Akosombo Dam.
This is an act of God. I mean, who would have expected that the control room would develop this kind of fire? But of course, I hear it's been there since 1964. So they say in adversity is opportunity. Because now that this adversity has happened, it gives us an opportunity to replace with it a more modern control room that will serve this Akosombo plant and let it work for more generations yet unborn. And so I told the minister I was coming here to see for myself the work you had done. He's briefed me. You have 4 of the turbines back on, and he says that you're working another miracle and that I'll get good news soon with the remaining 2 turbines also coming back on.
He commended emergency response teams for swiftly containing the fire and reaffirmed government's commitment to supporting energy sector institutions, including VRA and Gridco.
So I want to thank you very much for what you've done, and we encourage you to continue to work. VRA will continue to be one of the foremost state-owned enterprises, and Gridco and VRA, both of you, you are among the foremost twins of the same mother, Gridco and VRA, and we know that you continue to work, and every support government can give you will continue to give you.
Now, 4 communities in the Bole Bamboe constituency of the Savannah region are set to benefit from a new school project aimed at easing access to basic education in the area. For years, children in these communities have had to walk long distances to attend school, a challenge that has led to high dropout rates, with some resorting to farming and other activities instead of continuing with their education. The situation highlights gaps in achieving Sustainable Development Goal 4, which promotes inclusive and equitable quality education for all. Here's more.
The Member of Parliament for Bole Bamboe and Deputy Minister for Land and Natural Resources, Yusuf Suleimana, has cut sword for the construction of 4 basic schools in the beneficiary communities. The projects funded by the Ghana Educational Trust Fund are expected to be completed within 6 to 12 months.
We have come to build a school for this community. One of their concerns was also the extension of electricity to this community. Today, I can confidently announce that they are enjoying the national grid. They now have electricity, and we are adding a school to the electricity. I want to thank you for your patience, and I'm also told that the chief, working with the community, have identified a place where they want the school to be sited. What I want you to do for me is to give us a large piece of land. We will start with 3 classrooms, and subsequently we'll bring more school blocks to the area.
The Assembly member for Bodi Daboyiri electoral area, speaking to Channel 1 News, expressed appreciation to the MP, noting that the projects will help reduce the burden on people who travel long distances, a key factor contributing to school dropouts.
They used to walk a distance like 6 kilometers to Kakiase to school. And this morning, we are most grateful for getting that assurance that we are going to get a new school block. And a sword has been cut for that for the work to start. And then from there to, I think, renovation work is also ongoing in Kakiase, which students used to come, and then the place is very horrible.
You're still watching Channel 1 Newsroom on Channel 1 Television. Still ahead, FIFA president announces Iran's participation. More when we return. Please stay with us.
Your sound experience with the We Hear speakers by Lovi. From the sleek We Hear 1 to the powerful We Hear 2, and now the premium We Hear Pro, fully endorsed by Kylian Mbappe. This is not just a speaker, it's a flexible, high-performance outdoor Bluetooth speaker built to bring your music to life anywhere. With up to 100 watts of music power, you get bold, immersive sound wherever you go. All available in stylish standout colors. Now the good news: from April 20th to May 20th, grab yours at a special discounted price. The We Hear 1 now at 400 Ghana cedis, the We Hear 2 at 900 Ghana cedis, and the premium We Hear Pro now at 3,800 Ghana cedis. Don't miss out. Call 020-195-7739 or pick up at the Atlantic Towers. You can also grab yours at Orange FM Kumasi, Plus FM, or 3 Music TV in Accra. Number 12 Afunya Street at Belengpe. Don't miss out on this special discounted offer. It's the We Hear promo powered by Lovi. We Hear, feel the power, hear the difference.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson,
me didn't tum Mr. Freddy Calico, just call me cockroach.
Now, Mr. Freddy once now.
Hey, is that you? Improve car. Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the action. Me did this sasso spray. Mr. Freddy sasso quell. Yeah, go to my sasso.
Come tum preko.
Launching. BSc Development Economics at the Ghana Christian University College. Study a job-ready university program, BSc Development Economics at the Ghana Christian University College. Job is ready for graduates who possess degrees and certificates in BSc Development Economics, professional certificate in Theoeconomy, certificate in Theoeconomy with business. Enroll at the Department of Theology and Economics at the Ghana Christian University College, Amrahia, Adenta Dodua Road, Accra. Full bursary is available for BSc Development Economics graduates to study master's program at the State University in South Africa. Enroll now. Take advantage of this opportunity to join elite professionals in economics. Call 0557-351-090 or 0575-633-307 or 030-296-0542 WhatsApp us on 0557 351 090, or you can get in touch online on www.theoeconomy.edu.gh. Powered by the Center for Theology and Economics, CTEC.
You're welcome back. Up next is Channel 1 Sports with Bernard Abekwachi. You're welcome back. Now, Bernard Abekwachi.
Hi, Sandra.
Are you going for World Cup, by the way? Are you going to look for your visa? I've seen people celebrating their visa.
Well, we are journalists, so we have to be covering
you
that.
should.
But interesting, you talk about the World Cup, there's an interesting matter. You know the issue, of course, you are aware of
the Iran matter.
The Iran matter. The FIFA president is saying that Iran are going to still play in the United States of America, in fact, in the west coast of America, because...
West coast?
Yeah, absolutely.
Seattle?
Yeah. Seattle, great. So it means that Iran has its games against Egypt, against Belgium, all of that happening in the United States. And there were concerns initially from the president, the United States president, about this seeming tension between United States and Iran. But the FIFA president in Congress today mentions that nothing has changed. Football is a tool that's built or brings unity. So he's of the view that, look, nothing has changed. There are discussions, but Iran is going to play its games.
Yeah, but America is the one that will give you the visa. If they don't give you the visa, you can't come to their country. If they don't give you the landing right, you can't land.
I agree, and that's
so. I wonder
perfect.
how FIFA. Okay, is FIFA trying? Okay, I agree that FIFA is independent and all of that, but it's just like the United Nations. The United Nations is an independent body, right? But it's headquartered in New York.
That's it.
When America said they were not going to allow the Palestinian people or the Iranian people to come, they cannot come.
Absolutely.
So I don't know how they're really going to negotiate this.
I agree. So it's building that kind of tension I speak of initially. Because the FIFA president did not explain why the Iranian Football Federation boss was not in the United States at Washington for the World Cup draw, for example. And people are questioning that, look, the same FA president was not even allowed through Mexico and all of that. So there's a lot of things building up, but he maintains his composure and says, look, they are going to play in the United States of America.
For those who don't know the story, please give us more.
Let's get into it, shall we? Now, FIFA's president, Gianni Infantino, says that Iran will participate in the 2026 FIFA World Cup with their game set to take place in the United States as planned. The United States is set to host Iran's 3 group games at this summer's tournament. Iran plays New Zealand on June 15 and Belgium on June 21 in Los Angeles before finishing Group Mexico and Canada.
And let me start by the outset, or at the outset, I should say, confirming straight away for those who maybe want to say something else or want to write something else, that, of course, Iran will be participating at the FIFA World Cup 2026. And, of course, Iran will play in the United States of America. And the reason for that is very simple, dear friends, is because we have to unite. We have to bring people together. It is my responsibility, it is our responsibility. Football unites the world, FIFA unites the world, you unite the world, we unite the world.
Those are some interesting words from FIFA's president. But away from there, with less than 50 days to the 2026 FIFA World Cup, the finance minister, or the Ministry of Finance through its deputy minister, has updated the public on funds raised so far for Ghana's participation in the tournament. Engineers and planners were among 6 donors mentioned as having fulfilled parts of their pledges made during the fundraising event launched in earlier April. My colleague Gabi Ofer was present and put together this report.
At the Finance Ministry on Thursday, engineers and planners emerged as a top contributor during the latest donor briefing with a centralized arrangement designed to ensure that every cedi raised is transparently managed and used exclusively for the preparation of the Black Stars. Through its Chief Executive Officer, Ibrahim Mahama, the company made a part payment of $2 million from the $5 million pledged it committed to the Black Stars during the fundraising campaign. He added that the remaining amounts will be settled sooner rather than later, reaffirming their full commitment to supporting the cause.
This is to say that we're committed to Ghana. We just did our first gold pour, and we sold it to the Bank of Ghana, which we are very proud of, to say that this was what our intentions were, to be able to support the country.
Another contribution came from Timeline and Innovation, as head of monitoring for the company donated 1 million Ghana cedis to the fund.
We made a pledge of $300,000. We have redeemed part of it, and we want to tell everyone that we are here to support the cause of the Black Stars.
According to the Ministry of Finance, all contributions are being paid directly into the official 2026 World Cup fundraising account at the Bank of Ghana to ensure strict accountability and proper allocation. The fundraising initiative launched last month by President John Dramani Mahama aims to raise $30 million to adequately prepare for the Black Stars ahead of the global tournament. Deputy Finance Minister Thomas Nyako Ampem provided further clarity on the way forward for the initiative.
If you pledged 5 million, it doesn't mean if you are willing to give us more than 5 million, we won't take it. So even though you made pledges, there is still opportunity to up your pledges and pay more to support our Black Stars. May God bless all of you. May God bless your businesses so that you'll be able to support more worthy causes in the interest of Mother Ghana.
Well, that's the very latest from the world of sport, and I am Bernard Abekwatri. That's your sports on now.
Thank you so much, Bernard Abekwatri. And that's how we end today's edition of Channel One Newsroom, which came to you from our studios at number 5 Ola Hansen Lane at Testa now in Accra. For more stories, visit our website, channel1newsonline.com, for information on our top stories and more. Subscribe to Channel One TV on YouTube for more exclusive video content on Channel One TV. Also on the Channel One app on the Google Play Store. I am Umaru Sandamado. Thank you so much for being with us.